Hey y'all, Data Guy here. And so today I wanted to make a video on something that I've been coming across and using a lot more recently, which is Streamlit. And so if you're not familiar with what Streamlit is, it is a very lightweight way for you to take Python scripts and turn them into interactive web applications. Um, it's really great for data science outputs because you can generate really quick visualizations without needing to pipe your code into something like Tableau. You can just do it right within your Python script. And it also is really great for machine learning for similar reasons. Um, so really simple. If you can kind of look through here, you'll see some of the examples they have here. Don't worry, I'm going to go through building one myself, but I just wanted you to show from their website to see, they're all about basically saying, hey, you can take very low amounts of code and turn it into very complex dashboards, or not even complex, but very beautiful dashboards super easily. So you can see here, building powerful apps. They have some different frameworks you can use. So you don't have to start from scratch. And it's compatible with almost everything. Some platforms like Snowflake are actually bringing Streamlit support, into Snowflake, so you can actually generate Streamlit visualizations right on top of your Snowflake database. And also because it's built on top of Python and it integrates with, all of the popular data science libraries within Python, like pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, list goes on and on. And so it's really, because it's lightweight, again, really good for prototyping, creating data dashboards without really having to work with kind of web development tools like you would have had to traditionally, where a lot of people that are interested in data science maybe don't care about working with JavaScript, right? So now we've kind of set the stage. Let me actually switch over into a VS Code environment and we'll get started installing Streamlit. So here, just in a fresh terminal window, and as you can imagine, because it's all Pythonic, the installation is very typical to any Python package where I'm just going to do a pip install Streamlit. Cross my fingers that it works. Boom. So now it's going to install all this Streamlit packages, and now I can use Streamlit on my local machine. So what we can do to actually get started with that is let's create a new Python file, and we'll just call this, so we'll actually rename it. So open it up in our folder. Let's just do it in let's actually add a new folder. Add to our desktop to just store our Streamlit app. And so whatever, we're just going to focus on writing the script for now. So the way we'll actually execute this Streamlit app is by just importing Streamlit as st. So you'll initialize a Streamlit instance, and then what you'll do is you can have the most basic is Streamlit dot write hello Streamlit st.linechart 1 2 3 4 5, right? So nothing super complicated, just a basic application. All right, apologies. Just wanted to do a quick little cleanup there because that was a pretty messy setup, just saving that to my desktop. So here, now that I'm in dedicated folder for my Streamlit scripts, I got my first Streamlit script where it's just going to display some text and then display a simple line chart. So Streamlit has some built-in functionality for doing different kinds of like basic data visualizations, just built into Streamlit. So while you can obviously use things like Matplotlib and other tools on top of Streamlit, you don't actually need to. So what we can then do after that, we can go Streamlit run, and then we're gonna first Streamlit script.py, and what this should do is then open up in my browser window. So first, I'm going to get a little email thing where it's going to ask me to put my email in there. So let me just move this up so you can see it. Just leave it blank actually, so I don't have to do that right now. And so you'll see after I create that Streamlit app, you'll see I have it in my browser. So I have local URL, localhost 8501, and a network URL as well. So my local IP address. So then if I go over to my original screen capture, you can see I have my very, very basic first Streamlit app. So, obviously nothing super complex, but you can see kind of already the power, just easily creating a line chart, just a couple lines of code, all very Pythonically. So if you're experienced with Python, this is just kind of a natural next step. So then what I can do next is if I want to add some interactivity, I can, create an interactive Streamlit app. So here's what I'll do is actually make some edits to this. So let's Control C, stop that Streamlit server, And then you'll notice if I refresh, so it'll stop. So if I go back over to, and that was I just Control C to terminal. So that's how you do to if you want to kill your app. And what I'll then do after this is show you how to also do some simple interactions with it. So one thing you could do is you have a Streamlit title. Maybe let's pick a slider that allows us to pick a number, and then it'll tell us whatever that number was. So imagine, this is picking a number. I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind of like what this would be for, but just a basic interaction where you can see a quick feedback loop. And then what we'll do is just go up and run that again. So Streamlit, run first Streamlit app. And then again, I'll switch over to localhost 8501, and you guys can see this in action. Here we have my first Streamlit app, so I'm going to pick 5, and it'll show up 5 here. So very responsive, not a lot of latency. And this is also something you can deploy onto a production. So there is Streamlit Community Cloud, which is just kind of a community, shared space. Not going to want to do it for production, obviously, but for companies, you can deploy these apps as data apps on your own hardware. So imagine, you would have your data science team probably hook this up to a dedicated Streamlit instance that maybe executives use, or that serves a dashboard on a URL for the entire company. And so now we've kind of gone through some basic examples. I also want to show you, what are the things you can do with actually, interacting that are pretty useful. So like I said before, you don't necessarily have to use, the built-in Streamlit data tools, right? You can use traditional packages like pandas. So if I import pandas, Control C this to kill my current Streamlit service, I'm going to create a pandas data frame. Make sure Streamlit, okay, yeah, it should be fine. We'll see if I don't have pandas installed in my source system. I guess I'm usually working with an Airflow, so I might not. So here I'm just going to add a pandas data frame. I'm going to delete this previous interaction we have here, and instead just do sf write or st write that data frame, right? So then all I'll do is run this app again, and if all has gone well, as it has, we can switch over back into our Streamlit app, and you can see that pandas data frame reflected on here. And you could also, if you didn't want to use write, you could just use the dot table, and it will have the exact, or not the exact thing, but a very similar output. And so this isn't the only thing you can do. So, obviously looking at tables is cool, but I could just print that out in a, terminal window. So I also wanted to show one thing you could do that with maps. So maps, I don't know, I always find maps pretty pretty. And so here, you can have a map data upload as a pandas data frame, and then feed it into this st.map function, and then save this file, restart our server. And what this will then do is actually pull in from, it looks like it uses Mapbox to identify a particular latitude and longitude. And of course, putting in an SF because tech. I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of SF, but never mind. So, you could use this to visualize different data points on a graph. Maybe you want to map, hey, where are all the hospitals in America? Or maybe you're like the Black Belt Data Center and you want to map out, wealthiest Black communities in the country. You can use maps, feed the data in here, latitude and longitude, and create visualizations really easily. And so some other things that I wanted to show you, I got maybe 2 more, are number 1, sidebar widgets. So, you can actually create menus within Streamlit as well. So if I wanted to, add a option just to click to different pages, I could have this sidebar.select box. So this is where, it'll initialize a sidebar for you, select box. You can choose different shapes here. And so I'll save this, restart my Streamlit app. So run, and then again, switch over into a separate window. And if I show you here, so I still just kept the map there because again, I like maps. You can see I can select different options from a menu over here. And then, you can also, because it's a sidebar, you have the option to minimize it or not. You can also make it hiding, things like that. So Streamlit has a pretty rich array of, different functions for those kind of tools, for like different basic web features like, menu, like navigation. So you obviously don't have to code them all yourself from scratch. And then the final thing that I think is useful for getting started, or actually I have 2 more things. Or 3 more. So I want to show uploading files as well. So here, if I go back into Streamlit, actually, no, yeah, uploading files isn't that cool. So uploading files, this is just basically the same thing with pandas, where if I go back in here, I can upload a file, choose a CSV file, and then, this will, let's just, yeah, I don't want to bother doing else. So what this will do is just upload a file and then, write it, visualize it just as, Pandas data frame would. So that's where, if you actually want to bring in large data sets, you can bring them in via the uploaded file function, but it's just going to look, the same as the existing table I showed you. But what is a little bit cooler that I do want to show you is using Matplot. So if you import, your Matplot, let me just add this up here so it's a little cleaner. You can use, some of the more powerful plotting capabilities outside of just the Streamlit provided ones. Not saying they're not great, but sometimes, you actually got to do production workloads. And so here you can use all the Matplot, all the different functions you have available for you data science through Python. So here I have my Matplot libplot, just some random data points. But this is where you can start to think about visualizing other data sources, other visualization tools, and then just pipe them in through Streamlit because it's so lightweight and it doesn't require you to build out a whole website like you would traditionally. And then finally, just to kind of show you some other audio options, if you have, I don't have any kind of available files here, but if you want to add a video, MP3, path to an image, here, you can just add them similarly to that open file function, and it'll play any audio files. You can add it to a button. You can just display images and also play any videos you'd like. And so that is really all I think I have for you, in kind of just, beginner's introduction to what Streamlit does, how you can use it maybe in your own organization. So if you like this video, if you thought I didn't go deep enough, and you want to see some kind of more advanced Streamlit concepts, please let me know in the comments. If you did like this video as well, please like and subscribe. It helps me a ton. And if nothing else, have a good rest of your day, and see you soon. Davey out.